Alright guys, welcome to another part of the CRF hybrid rebuild. As you can see, I put in the broken engine here now to do a mock-up. I want to make some new mounts for the electronics. All these bits of the harness, positive cable for the battery, stop button and starter, and map selector. That's what goes to the front. Previously, you can see the mount is on here. It's mounted under the tank here, just sitting like this. I want to change that up a bit and make a mount. It goes from these two mounting holes for the coil, starter relay, and what we have here, these parts. Because I don't want to modify the harness. The only thing that's been modified on the harness as it sits right now is the one plug that goes back to the airbox. That has been extended. Other than that, this harness is original. And yeah, I think we made a hookup here from the coil to the kill switch. And also here in this triangle where the fuel pump normally sits, I want to make a new mount for the ECU and the rectifier. It's going to sit here. So I'm going to make a new mounting plate for that with an aluminum cover, but I still want a hole here so I can access the hot start on the throttle body. Just leave a small hole there so you can put your finger in, pull it out. That should be doable. If you buy a complete Hamsun kit, you will get the mounts for the electronics and also the ECU in this area. It also makes a different intake that flares out to a larger one, and you cut out your stock LTR, OEM LTR airbox, and you have then a flange for a bigger filter as well. But I just got the stock setup on here for now. May make some modifications. Previously I've been using this CFM, I believe it's called, aluminium boxes. They use the filters for the 250R. I can cut off this part too and modify it to fit in the OEM airbox if I want to, or just use this airbox. I've used it in several different configurations with the 250 engine with the dual exhaust, and yeah, it's been good for a lot of different setups. RNC hybrids as well I've been using it on. But as far as other modifications you have to do on your stock swing arm, on the sprocket side here, on the inside, you have to cut off about 4 or 5 millimeters here, and of course modify the collar that sits on the inside here. That needs to be cut accordingly, but Hampson will supply a modified collar in the kit if you buy the full kit. Mine is just a partial kit from him with the tank, the top mount here and the 2 front mounts. The other stuff I'm gonna make myself and had made myself in the past. I mentioned earlier I will make some new bottom mounts, but that will be the last thing I do, because you may notice I have the OEM rear shock on here that does not normally fit with the 18 engine, because of the part that's been on the case here that's been carried over from the 17 and older, the kicker housing. On the 19, the cases was redesigned and they took away that piece, that part, so that gives you a lot more space to run OEM shock or even an aftermarket like an Elka with the dual spring setup. The reason I got room for that on this one is I have the other swing on I showed you in an earlier part. This has been modified. The tabs here for the original front slider has been capped off. New ones are welded on the top and bottom here, further back. One of these have been cut too and moved back. It's now using LTC 400 front slider. Just cut it off here and the 2 small triangles here, so it slides on and mounts on top and bottom here. The center slider here, you have to take out some material here so it slides further in. And if you use the rear slider, you can use a benchy one, drill an extra hole and put it directly on. If you use a aftermarket one for the LTR, you have to take off some material here as well, so it moves further in, so everything is in line. And the rear sprocket has spacers, so the sprocket is positioned about 8 millimeters further in. Then everything lines up with the front sprocket. And with the front sprocket, I know some of you who have built this before have noticed that you're slightly out of line, and flip the front sprocket around the other way to get it further out to line up. With this one, I don't have to do that, but if I need more space, I can do that and move it further over, because I got the room to work with the spacers that are on the mounts. I can shift some spacers around or adjust them accordingly. But as it is now, it looks like even the stock shock clears. But we'll see. I'm gonna put everything together. If it's the broken engine that's sitting in here now, so you can see how everything fits. It has the stock LTR, the OEM LTR, air tube, and airbox mounted in the normal position. All it does, it tilts the box a little bit, but that doesn't matter. You also have to cut your swing arm, the crossbar over here. You have to take some material out of this to make room for the tube, as it now attaches to a 45-degree angle throttle body. So that's what I'm looking to do now next. So in the next video I will have the new mounts for the electronics made, and I'm gonna mount them and sort out the electronics, the full harness, and I'll show you that on video. As far as putting the engine in, when you have done all the modifications, the way I start putting the engine in, I get the swing arm in place and I use 2 bolts, and I just put them in part of the way, just inside the swing arm. Do not stick them out past, so I can't get the engine in. Get the engine in place, push one of the swing arm bolts all the way through, and the other one just falls out. And then I got that in place. Then I can just tilt the engine, put on the front mounts, then do the upper mounts. On the other side we have the upper engine mount from the bike, with just a little modification on one of the holes. It also fits on the LTR. So even though I use the other swing arm, it can look like a lot of modification, but if you built one, you have it ready to be used. Then I got a lot of these sliders and also the blocks to modify. I also have a few of the Banshee lower gliders laying around here in another box. I just can't get to it right now, but that's it. I've been using that for RNC hybrids as well, to line them up. Then I don't have to do any other modifications to the swing arm, and it works pretty good. I can also see in the back of the case it's a bit curved, so that gives me even more room for the rear shock. And as far as the balance goes, it doesn't seem to affect it in a negative manner at all. Maybe even the weight distribution is even better the way it sits now. Still got the space I need here for the throttle body with the new way they make these tanks. They do make space for it, for the downdraft throttle body. So this guy named Marshall Smith, you can find him on the LTR forum. He will, if you send him the tank, if you are in the US, if you send him the tank, he can mount a KTM fuel pump in here with regulator in it, and the tank will also fit, as you can see if you take the TPS away. Not the TPS. The fuel pressure regulator under there. If you take that away, you will have the space you need here for the throttle body. On the OEM tank as well. The KTM fuel pump uses the same fuel pressure as the CRF, around 51 psi or 3.5 bars, and that can work as well if you just have the mounts, or or make your own mounts in case Hampson is too busy farming and don't have time to make you a kit. It is pretty easy to do it yourself, or have someone cut them out in steel if you don't have a CNC machine ready and available. And then Mr. Marshall do the tank conversion with KTM pump. Then it's just a connector for the fuel pump you need. And so that's where we sit right now. In the next video, I will show you a bit more when I work and make everything ready, as it would be on a running bike. Just waiting for more bikes to hit the market so I can buy a donor bike with a fresh good engine. But nonetheless, you're gonna see the whole hybrid built, ready to go. So yeah, all the important bits will be on the video here, or the next videos. So I'm gonna call it for now. See you on the next one. Bye bye.